Hey everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to Youth with Destiny show. I am your host, Gita Littlejohn. Hope that everybody is doing well on today. Check out my hat, y'all. I'm rocking my school, representing my school. Y'all know I love school. I talk about school all the time. And I know some people are not excited about school. I get that. But for me, I love to learn. I love to learn. Because knowledge is power, right? So let's get into the topic. So today, I think this is a touchy subject. It's not really talked about, but when it is talked about, it's like, I won't say people get upset or angry, but it's just like, it can be a little overwhelming, right? Because I know for me, I only can speak for me, as a youth leader, as a community leader, as a entrepreneur, I know that children with disabilities are often looked over. And for me, that bothers me. And y'all know, if you've been following me for the past 2.5 years, whether that's watching my YouTube clips, or you came to the YWCA and took one of my classes, or you've seen me online doing teen development classes, you know that I love kids. I love all ages. But I feel like in regards to kids with disabilities, they're overlooked. And I'm trying to change that. That's my goal. Inclusion is huge for me. And whether that's inclusion in the school system, inclusion in the workplace, inclusion in a youth program, it's so very, very, very important that we don't forget about kids with disabilities, whether that's kids with autism, whether that's kids with Down syndrome, neurological disorders, whatever it may be. We have to remember to include them in things. And even if they don't even have an understanding of what's going on, taking the time to break things down to them it's key in their development. So the question today is, what are educators in the community, educators and community leaders doing to help assist families that have kids with disabilities? We have to do better. If you're a leader, youth leader, a community leader, a teacher, an educator, in any capacity, this video is mainly for you. Please listen to what I'm saying. Listen to my thoughts. And of course, I can't make anybody do anything, but I can encourage you, right? I can admonish you to just don't forget about the kids, especially kids, that really may be struggling at home, because again, we don't know the environment that these kids are coming out of. Everybody's not coming from a loving family. Everybody's not coming from a 2-parent household. Everybody's not coming, from a home, with the white picket fence and, the dog in the yard, and everything is, is great every single day. Some kids are coming from broken homes. Some kids are coming from single parent homes. Some kids are coming from homes where they don't hear the word I love you. They have no emotional support. And we have to be aware of that. We have to learn how to do daily assessments. When you're working with kids, you just can't say, oh, they'll be all right. You know what I mean? You can't take on that type of attitude. But for the kids that have disabilities, learn how to include them in your activities, in whatever you're doing in the classroom, whatever you're doing in a program, wherever you're working or wherever you're giving your time to as it relates to young people. Don't forget about the kids that have autism. Don't forget about the kids that have Down syndrome. Don't forget about the kids that have speech impediments. Because we live in an inclusive society, right? Inclusion is everywhere now. So if they don't learn that at a program, if they don't learn that from educators and community leaders, how are they going to function in society? We can't just push them aside and say, okay, the kids with autism are going to be in that corner over there. We're going to give them something different to do. And while our typical kids, we're going to play this game, or we're going to do that. We're going to forget about them, because I've seen it. The reason why I'm mentioning it is because I've seen it, and I've experienced it working in the school system. And it's like, wow. Like, is this what we doing? Like, we separating everybody? I get it. Kids with disabilities, they have to have certain accommodations, right? When it comes to the curriculum, and I get that. But I'm just saying, don't have that mentality. Don't have that mindset of, we're just going to push them aside. Like, they're not going to be a part of morning group or morning circle or evening circle. We're just going to push them in another room and put them with a provider or put them with an ABA tech. No, include them, right? Because again, we live in a world of inclusion. It's about diversity. It's about accepting people where they are. That's so very, very important. And if they don't get that message, if they don't get that support, if they don't get that love from us, what happens to them? Where do they end up? How do they function? How do they feel on the inside? Because a lot of times kids with disabilities, and just kids in general, always can express how they feel and what's going on with them on the inside. But if we take the time, if we really take the time to listen and understand them, we'll find out what's going on with them. So I encourage every community leader, every youth leader, every person that's working with young people, whether you're working with a 5-year-old or you're working with a 21-year-old, remember to include them in everything that you do. Include the kids with disabilities. I am an advocate for children. I'm an advocate for kids with disabilities because I know what it is to be different. And what do I mean by being different? I was born with a hole in my heart, right? So I've had open heart surgery twice, and I've had other operations done on my body. So just being basically sick often, and trying to go to school and trying to learn, it was very difficult for me in high school because that's when my heart really started acting up. I was getting pains in my fingers, pains in my legs, couldn't go upstairs. I couldn't do a lot. You know what I mean? Gym class was very hard for me. Even in middle school, it was hard. And a lot of the activities I could not participate in. That made me feel some type of way. And it's not because the teachers weren't trying to include me. It's not because my parents didn't care. It's just, it was an inner thing. It was a self thing. Like, wow, why can't I be like other kids? You know what I mean? Why can't I run around the track, without getting winded? You know what I'm saying? So inclusion, when you already feel a certain way because you are different and you're not being included, imagine how that makes someone feel. So just listen to what I'm saying. Go over this video again. You can take a lot of key points out of what I'm saying and implement it in your classrooms, implement it in your programs, and whatever capacity you're working with young people with disabilities. As always,